Hello and welcome back everyone. This is Professor Wakas Rasul, your Minister for 2πQ with Smooth Global Solutions covering the center point 0. Q for quadrant or quarter like the financial quarter, and LV for Louis Vuitton. The dot between the 4Q is the vector scalar dot product. Furthermore, the rings at the center emerge from the tear, moving from the top to the bottom of the screen. And without further ado, let's get into the main part of this discussion. As ever, I begin my work in the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, which you can see at the top right of your screen above a picture of me back in 1995. Towards the left-hand side of the screen, you see two pictures of me, one receiving the award from the Clay Mathematics Institute, and a more recent picture towards the bottom left of the screen with a rose for U momentum. Along the bottom of the screen is Silverstone and Formula One, abbreviated as F1, the Women's Engineering Society, and Sky above Power BI to the power of Sky. I should also mention as well that this is my own inner product space, and so comments are currently not required. Now moving from the top left to the bottom right, skipping over the picture. Using a simple scalar dot product, I've linked the Engineering Council, UK Research and Innovation, Engineering and Physical Sciences Research Council, the Met Office, and Rossby Waves with my own inner product space. Covering, to name a couple more than a handful, the universities of Leeds, Oxford, Stanford, Cambridge, Harvard, Nottingham, and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, through which I hope our fellowships continue to flourish. Finally, this work is LRQA certified gold, dated 3rd February 2025. Now covering the central components, I've linked my cross-institutional award using a curvy linear graph connecting it to the XY plane, containing the largest and most reputable law firms with a global presence scattered across the 4 quadrants of the XY plane. In other words, 4Q. This is well defined by the operator of infinite smooth global solutions with the inner product law. You can see more of these outputs below the horizontal X-plane. Furthermore, with my appearance and vocals continuing on JP Morgan Making Sense, rest assured you can no longer deny that I am indeed making sense. And since my approved statement of professorship is above the Bank of America, among many other banks including HSBC, timely placed, any commitment, including that of the United Kingdom to the United Nations Development Programme, requires complete removal of assets, financial assets, and any monetary value, whether relating to physical or digital currency, coming from sales, including imports and exports, of weapons used to kill or bring harm to innocent civilians, even by way of collateral damage, or artificial weapons which create unintended outcomes, including an intended outcome where there is known information about the supply chain of various weapons manufacturers and all involved parties, whether known or unknown. Thus, in order to identify and improve upon clarity, one must ascertain and testify whether the collective motion of moving pixels on display screens is from a simulation or based on real-life events outside of computational domains, since results within computational algorithms, the results of which are shown on display screens, can be made to appear as if they are real, i.e. that they are happening outside of virtual environments. This can also be understood on a TED Talk or through TED Education, given but not limited to the complete ownership rights of all enterprises below Smooth Global Solutions, appropriated by the shareholders of Goldman Sachs, signing the bottom right corner for the complete ownership takeover by yours truly, within the confines of cognitive laws created by and understood by man. Thus, following the principles of modern engineering and elite motorsport, one cannot discuss the nature of aerospace without climatological thinking, objectivity, among other forms of rational and irrational discourse. Thus, by way of enlightenment, I'll provide the viewer of this content with two complete mathematical descriptions one can embed in lower order domains for a continuation of advanced data engineering techniques over quantum and classical bits, including the technological infrastructures and underlying source code of big data engineering, civil engineering, aviation, as well as artificial intelligence and the limitations of automated systems well known within computational complexity theory. Thus, by means of a lengthy onboarding process, numerous accolades and awards, chartership under the Institution of Civil Engineering, chartered engineering status with UK Civil Aviation Authority chartership, I will now present two variations of the horizontal momentum equations governing the flow of a fluid particle along the horizontal plane, with the latter being the non-dimensional equivalent. This can be programmed using modern computational techniques. However, there exists no algorithm that can program the higher order equivalent, since it is a logically complete and object-oriented programming language. This can be represented using equation 1 referenced here. Now looking at equation 2, RE stands for the Reynolds number, which is a non-dimensional parameter. It measures the ratio between inertial and viscous forces, and so when this number is small, we have steady laminar flow. However, for an extremely large Reynolds number, we can observe the onset and patterns which emerge from turbulence, due to the erroneous lower order approximations of higher order derivatives, thus financial derivatives and the derivative market. And having now said the latter statement, I will provide the definitions for all terms used in equations 1 and 2 in alignment with the fundamental principles of modern engineering required above the chartered engineering status. And here's the backend Python code used in the author's edition of the Linux command interface. Once more, I would like to thank you all again for listening.